Okay, we're going to get that pan from over on. Thank you.
No, it's not.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep my eyes on the
Nobody
participant
has a
list, and
movie.
I'll be letting people in. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. This is our. Let me make sure we're recording. Hold on just a second.
Then shut up, you can hear it.
Okay. This is our third tiny training on time management, and just wanted to say hello and welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of today's training. We're looking forward to it. Today, we're going to go over the Pomodoro technique, and we'll talk a little bit about this. Each of these trainings build upon each other, and so today is that next step. And I think a lot of childcare providers find this technique useful because you can do them in chunks.
Shut.
So to start out with today, I just want to say that 0 to 5 Montana is a statewide early childhood organization. We're focused on increasing access to early childcare and education. We believe in supporting and strengthening families, uplifting voices, and empowering small businesses and communities. We're nonpartisan and we're focused on solutions that work towards a Montana dedicated to every single child. And Montana Child Care Business Connect is the program side of 0 to 5 Montana. And at Montana Child Care Business Connect, we want your child care business to open. We want it to grow. We really want it to sustain. That means to stay open and thrive and be a part of the communities that you're based in. And then we want your business to thrive. So all the offerings that we do at MCCBC are to try
over
and
just a
touch
little
on
bit.
one of those 4 topics there. So this is the series outline for us, and we're already on the 3rd topic of the series. And this one is talking about the Pomodoro technique. A lot of people, once they try this technique, they love it. So that's exciting. And I'm very excited to have you here for it today. So we're going to start off with a great little icebreaker. So the first thing, I want everyone on the call to participate. So please, everyone, jump in and be a part of this if you can, please. Perfect. If everyone can jump into the chat and put into your chat, what's one small task that you've been putting off lately, just because you haven't had time? So think about it. Some examples could be something simple like writing a newsletter, organizing your art closet, updating your allergy lists, doing something in your handbooks, whatever that is. If you could all please I'm just going to mute everybody. Sure. Okay, does that sound better for everyone? Good. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. So if you could all put in the chat one small task that you've been putting off, type that task into the chat and include in that, why do you think you've not tackled it yet? What is it that's keeping you from doing these tasks? I want to give you all just a minute to do that. Okay, I love so many of these responses. I'm going to read some of them out to you. So first one, I've got cleaning the supply room. Sarah's is one of my favorites. Where do I begin? Can you just show me a raise of hands? How many of you are in that? There's so much to do. I cannot begin anywhere, because that is a true time management paralyzer. And it's something that's just very real. This technique is going to help with things like that. taking care of receipts, updating a physical copy of records. I see it's overwhelming thought to get started. So again, we're reiterating that. It won't take long, so I just need to do all these other things first, and then you forget to get back to what you were supposed to be doing. All of those are really good examples of different things. Revising job descriptions, I love that one. Updating your health records, that's one that I hear all the time as something. Patty wrote, reorganizing my toys. I haven't tackled it yet because what I want to do is a huge overhaul. And sometimes that's so true, right? Well, I could do it like this, but I need to do it better. So it's going to be a huge overhaul. Other things just keep getting in the way. Can I please have an amen on the chat for that? We are childcare providers, and it seems like there's always something that gets in the way. And I definitely want to tackle that with the Pomodoro technique today. So all good things to be thinking about. We're going to come back to what you guys typed in here towards the end of this training and talk about it a little bit more. So don't forget what you wrote down there. The Pomodoro technique is a simple time management method, and it helps you break work into focused chunks of time. So traditionally, that chunk of time is 25 minutes, and then it's followed by a short break. And the reason we call it the Pomodoro technique is the funniest reason of all. It's Italian for tomato. So I got to have a Bob the Tomato themed presentation today. So that was great. The technique was developed in the late 1980s by Francesco Cirillo. And if I said that wrong, my apologies. Francesco was a university student, and he was overwhelmed and couldn't focus. He probably was a student on the spectrum who had a hard time with focus. And he decided to grab himself a tomato-shaped egg timer and a kitchen timer, and he set it for 25 minutes. And he challenged himself to just focus for that 25 minutes. And he did so and had great success with it. Started using that and sharing it with friends, and that one small change that he made turned into a system that has helped millions of people stay on track. And we're bringing it to childcare today. So the system works in a pretty interesting way. So the first step is that you want to decide on the tasks that you need to do. And we talked about how to make those decisions all the way back in the first one when we were doing the Eisenhower matrix. So you can see how this is building off it. So you've picked your tasks already. Now just pick one from that list, and you need to set a timer for 25 minutes. Just do that one thing. No checking your phone, no hopping between tasks, no stepping out for just a second to do this and then you'll pop right back in. When the timer rings, you want to rest for 5 minutes or take a potty break, go have a cup of coffee, do whatever you need to do, but give yourself 5 minutes. I recommend you stand up and stretch and get away from your screen if you're doing screen time work. If you're not doing screen time work, just make sure that you walk away from it for 5 minutes. Then you can come back. If you need to continue on the same task, continue. If you've finished that task, you can move to what we call another Pomodoro, which is another 25 minutes, okay? After you've done those cycles 4 times, so if you've done 25, gotten up, done something, do another 25, gotten up, done something, do another 25, gotten up, done something. After you've done that 4 times, you need to take a longer break. And this could be a 15 to 30-minute break, which is what's recommended. Now, put in the chat what you're all saying out loud in your head, because I know what you're saying. You're saying, but Kendra, I work in childcare. There's no way that we have 25 minutes uninterrupted to sit down and to do something, right? I agree. Does anyone else feel that way? Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say that you are the king and queens of teacher, mommy, hey, and that it definitely is one of those things that happens for you. So I do want to talk about that a little bit, and we're gonna tackle that topic, okay? Think about those little but important tasks that always seem to get pushed to the side, like we talked about at the beginning of the class. Each of those can be tackled with a simple Pomodoro, but you don't have to finish everything. And that's the piece in a work environment like you guys have. 25 minutes uninterrupted basically is nap time. And look at, you're spending it here with me today. And so we do recognize that. So understand that you just have to start and stay focused. If you have to hit the pause button, you can do that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Here's an example of a couple childcare tasks that really fit into a Pomodoro. Prepare your snack time meals, plan your learning activities, do a weekly parent communication draft, all things that you guys have to tackle that could fit into a good Pomodoro. But like I said, we all get interrupted. We are in childcare. If a child needs you, you absolutely should stop. Give them your attention. But here's a trick. You can pause the timer and handle the need and then come back if it's something that can't wait. Jot it down and keep going. You're going to deal with it after your Pomodoro ends. This is what is going to build incredible discipline over time. This is what's going to change your mind and your brain to remember to keep going back to that task. One of you in the chat earlier said, I always think about this and then I think, well, I can get to that in a minute because I'm going to go do this, and then you forget about it and don't go back. Pomodoros help you stop forgetting about those tasks. You don't need a whole hour of silence to use this. So here's where it can fit. During nap time, before kids arrive in the morning, in those 10 to 15-minute moments that are right after snack time, or while children are engaged in free play. You can even do micro Pomodoros for 10 or 15 minutes if that's all that you have. And I recommend the micro Pomodoro. I am a huge fan of it, and I think that they would work for you guys. So now we're going to practice a mini Pomodoro. And when I say mini, I mean super mini. We're going to take 1 minute to think about that task that you guys did, that you wrote down earlier. So pick a small task, one from the chat earlier, if you need one. Set the timer. I'm going to let you know when 1 minute passes. And just for 1 minute, try to stay fully focused on that one item only. Okay? Ready, set, go. All right, how did that feel? Let's put it in the chat. Was it hard to stay focused? Did it go super fast? Let's hear what you guys have to say. Type your reactions in the chat. Super fast. A minute is super fast, and I know, but we only have 30 minutes here today, so I want you to practice it. Aletha says that seems like a long minute. I don't know what's worse, a microwave minute or a treadmill minute. Which one's longer? I'm not positive. Roxanne says that went way too fast. It went really fast. Yes. What's really good about Pomodoro, though, is that you're thinking about the same thing for the whole focused time. So even if you're only getting 5 minutes in, you're focusing on a thing for that period of time. And focused time is what Pomodoro is all about. So I really think that you can break these into 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 20 and 25-minute tasks. So just remember that that's a great way to tackle some of those quicker little focused tasks that you have. All right, so the magic of Pomodoro. This method absolutely works because it's what fights the overwhelm. Anyone in here feel overwhelmed? I'll get to that on Monday. And then on Monday, you changed it to Tuesday. and then Tuesday you moved it to your Wednesday tasks. Anyone done that? I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of that. I have a Monday board that I use, and that Monday board, when I move things at the end of the day, like I go through and I check what I've done for the day, and I always feel so guilty when I'm moving something over from Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday. And that's when I finally say, okay, it's time to buckle down because I got to do it, right? Any bullet journalers in here like to see that? That's also a great little system where we're moving those tasks constantly. Pomodoro exists for those tasks that you keep moving. This is a great way to just, if you need to put a check mark on a list, this is your time management system. And this is a good one for it. And I really recommend that you guys consider it for those nagging in the back of your head tasks. This method works because it fights the overwhelm when everything feels urgent. Doing just one thing with full focus will calm your brain. And there's true science behind what it does to your brain. When you have a success that works that way and you put that check mark, you've trained your brain to remember it to be that way. And it will, the next time a task comes up, remember to see it through to the end. If you do something like 31 Pomodoros successfully, your brain will learn to think in that chunk of time when it comes to a task, which is pretty exciting if you think about it. You guys are already doing an amazing job. You have so much going on in your worlds. You have a ton of things that you're focused on and that you're worrying about. I want you guys to think about the Pomodoro technique as this is just one more way to take care of yourself while you're caring for others. Think about how you can start small and pick one task, set one timer session, and set it at your pace. If 25 minutes doesn't work for you, that's okay. Set it at your pace. But I do want to just say, you guys have got to let that tomato be your friend. Set the timer. Curious in the chat if you guys could put, anyone use timers on their children, on the students that you're teaching? Have any focus issues and you're using an egg timer? My son is on the autism spectrum, and I think he had an egg timer at his desk until he was in the 3rd grade. Every teacher was like, focus. And they set egg timers for him. Anyone else have that? Yeah, I think it's a really handy tool. And if you think of that visual of an egg timer, it can help you remember that you're just doing a task. It's one simple task at a time. This is one of the simplest things out there, and I chose it as an opportunity to share with you guys because it builds off the Eisenhower metric. It utilizes your time blocking because you can pick and schedule Pomodoros, right? And this one just is that one that takes those nagging little things off the back of your plate, and little successes rewire your brains to work in a positive, moving forward way. So don't be afraid of little successes. All righty, are there any questions? Timers are always something the kids love to try to beat when they're given a task. I like that too. Timers are great for class. I love that. Any questions? Throw them in the chat and I will try to get to that. And while we're talking about questions, I want to talk about next week a little bit. So, well, next week, not next week, but June 12th is our next training series. And on this one, we are going to talk about the 1-3-5 rule, which builds off of Pomodoro. So this is also another very exciting technique that I think is my favorite for childcare providers, because I think that this can help you feel accomplished at the end of the day. Raise of hands, who gets to the end of their day and is like, I got nothing on my list done. All I was able to do was love children today. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. So you did the most important work. Thank you for loving them. I love that, Valerie, every day. But this 1-3-5 rule takes Pomodoro to a next level and gives you a couple of goals. And I love this very simple time management system. It's something that is absolutely going to help keep your to-do list manageable. We're going to learn how to focus on one big 3 medium, and 5 small tasks per day to keep our day feeling like we've accomplished something. This particular task 100% helps avoid that overwhelming feeling that people get when they are doing task management systems. So if there aren't questions, I don't see any questions in the chat, but what I would like to just remind everyone is that we want you to sign up for our newsletter. You can snap a picture of our QR code and take advantage of all the things that we do here at Montana Child Care Business Connect. And I want to finish with just a really sincere please that you guys can snap a picture today, since you have extra time in this training. Snap a picture of this QR code here and let us know how we're doing. What I'd really like to see is any suggestions you have for anything in the future you'd like to see on a Tiny Training series. Would you like us to teach you about onboarding? Would you like to learn something about how to do a schedule in your program? All the things that you're interested in that you've never really quite voiced, we want to hear it, and we want to bring you meaningful trainings that are going to make a difference in what your work is and what you do. And with that, I am going to leave the chat open and let anyone ask any questions and give you guys the gift of 5 extra minutes today. And just say thank you so much for coming, and come prepared with 1 big task, 3 medium tasks, and 5 small tasks that you can think of next week. Okay? Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.